Hello, my friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Shadow Rose. I am a psychic intuitive, a tarot reader, an astrologer, and a pagan practitioner. Welcome to my very first pick a card reading on YouTube. I'm really excited to be here. I'm usually over on Twitch giving tarot readings. So I'm over there as well, but I'm excited to start my journey here on YouTube. I've always wanted to do pick a card readings even before I started getting into Twitch. So yeah. I decided that we'd start off my channel with a bang with messages from the Morrigan. The Morrigan is my patron deity, my patron goddess, the one that I personally work with in my personal practice. And I felt like she had some things to say for everybody today. Um, if you don't know who the Morrigan is an Irish Celtic deity. She is a goddess that is many goddesses and one goddess all together. She is the goddess of death, war, prophecy, magic, um, battle. I kind of see war and battle as two kind of different things, personally, but she is a wonderful deity, very intense. Sometimes I'm just gonna be honest, a little scary sometimes, but she is not for the faint of heart. But she is also a deity that cares deeply for her followers, and I always tell people that she asks for 100%, but she also gives 100% as well. Um, if even if you're interested in working with her, um, thank you so much for coming. She probably definitely has a message for you. And even if you're not interested in deities or even the Morrigan, um, I like to believe that you came here for a reason, and she likes to help people sometimes, even though you're not working with her. She's a very interesting deity, very enigmatic, kind of a mystery, but she's wonderful. I love her. So yeah, let's get into the reading. We have three piles to pick from. She's also seen sometimes as a triple goddess. Um, and so three is one of her numbers. Some of her symbols as well are ravens, um, common death symbols, because she's a death goddess. And also a little bit more like obscure animals in her lore are cows, eels, and wolves as well. I almost said deer. I don't know why I almost said deer, but it's not a common one. But she is a shapeshifter, so she can kind of morph and shift into what she needs. So maybe some of you have been seeing a lot of deer lately. I just want to confirm that right now that that's her. Just putting it out there. But anyway, we have three piles to pick from today. I did use OM rune cards for the picks today. I'm not going to go over the meanings now, but once we get into your pile, I'll definitely go over the meanings of the specific runes for each pile. So if you don't know what OM runes are, they're kind of like Norse runes a little bit. Um, and they were used by the Druids, and they're an alphabet, they're a writing system, even though not a formal writing system, um, but they're very powerful, and I love them a lot. Traditionally, they're carved into pieces of wood, but I just have cards today. So, all right. So pile one, we have Ada, or white poplar. I apologize for any butchering of the pronunciations. I am not, um, I'm only Irish by heritage, not by nationality, so I apologize. But feel free to correct me in the comments. Um, but so we have Ada for pile one, and it's associated with a white poplar tree. Then for pile two, we have strife or strafe with a black thorn tree. And for pile three, we have I think it's Iho or Iho, and it's associated with the U tree. And if it helps for you guys, we do have for the specific runes there are lines on there, crisscrossed with that main line, and we have 4 lines here, 4 here, and 5 here. And this deck is the Celtic Tree Oracle deck. If anyone's interested, I'll have all the decks listed in the description though. But yeah, I will give you guys a little bit of time. Feel free to pause the video and pick your pile, and we'll we'll jump right into it. Again, thank you so much for stopping by. Hello, hello, my pile ones. I'm so excited that you're here. If you picked the Ada rune, this is your pile for you. I just got like chills, like mega chills as I said that. You're feeling it. I feel like you guys kind of jumping right into it off of the Ada rune. You guys are feeling really spiritual right now. And I think you might even be like noticing a lot of like spiritual gifts kind of um coming through lately. I got like mega chills as I started that reading. Or not as I started like the the recording. Oh my goodness. You guys are powerful. Powerful. Um and going off the Ada rune as well, this is a rune about overcoming obstacles. It's a rune associated with death, actually. When I pulled this one, I was like, oh, hello, Morrigan. You are here. Hi. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for showing up today. Just kidding. Oh my god. But anyway, it is associated with death. It's associated with spirits. And it was a wood used very popularly with um with seers and diviners as well. It is associated with the white poplar tree, as well as the aspen tree. Um, it's a very it's I don't know if you've ever seen the trees where like when their leaves like blow in the wind, it looks like they're like shivering. Those are the I think those are aspens specifically, or just maybe poplar trees in general. They're very very pretty, and in my area they're very common. Um, but yeah, so this is associated with death. It's associated with shadow work. Um, because of the association with death, and as well as like spirits and spirit guides. I One thing that I kind of am picking up on right away, like I said, I think you have a very strong energy about you. Um, and I think more so than you realize. If I'm gonna just be totally blunt, if you haven't gotten into some sort of divinatory practice, I would try that out. Either cards, runes, any sort of divining practice or channeling practice. I would definitely get into it or work on that because that's where your gift lies. Um, so today we'll be using the Murder of Crows tarot deck. This is my personal deck for the Morrigan. It is the collector's edition, so it has like little bits of red. It's like my one of my favorite decks. I will be shuffling live. So if it takes I'm not a hot minute, but never mind. We just started having cards pop out. She's very eager to talk. So these are messages from the Morrigan. Um, we'll be pulling 6 cards from the Murder of Crows deck. And then we also have an Oracle deck as well. And the Oracle deck is the... I already forget which deck it was. the Mists of Avalon Oracle deck that we'll be using later as well. Alright, so the first card that popped out was the Emperor Reversed, or I'm sorry, Empress Reversed. I always associate the Empress Reversed as like self-care. Um, like you giving yourself um the self-care that you need right now. I think specifically, okay, so some of you need to jump into spirituality a little bit more. Um, some of you though, I'm not saying to slow down, but make sure you're taking care of your physical body. And not just your spiritual body. Um, the Morrigan is very much about self empowerment. Um, and I think a part of that, with such a strong association with self, um, I think that always, like, self care kind of goes hand in hand. Even though she's like not known to be a quote self care goddess, like some of the other more like motherly type goddesses, um, she does have a very strong, in my opinion, a very strong association with self care. She is, yes, she is a warrior in her own right. She is a battle goddess, a war goddess. But with that war also comes the healing after the battle. And I think that's a big message that she has for you. And I think a lot of you, I think, just came out of the battle. Especially if you're kind of diving into spirituality as a way to cope. I'm definitely getting that. Um, Spirituality is a very wonderful thing and it can help us through so many things. But just like with anything, everything in moderation. We cannot dive into only our spiritual selves. We also need to dive into our physical self and our mental and emotional self as well. You always need a balance, because if you have only spiritual, then you become detached a little bit too much from the world. In my practice, balance is everything. Um, and so, and I think the Morrigan is here to remind you that there's a physical world too. But again, she's kind of talking about this balance. Like I said, we have the Hermit card. This card is about kind of going on your own spiritual journey and kind of like going it alone in a way. I think especially with the Empress reversed here, um, you might need to start to follow your own path, especially spiritually. Um, there's a lot of people out there on the internet now who definitely have an opinion and who have a lot of wonderful, wonderful knowledge. But try not to cling too strongly to those people. And that includes myself as well. I know this is like my first video, but especially if you like maybe in the future going through my videos and find this video or something like that, you know. Um or if you're watching pick a card after pick a card after pick a card, or informational video after informational video where people just kind of give you the answer. Um, don't be afraid to go on your own journey and kind of research stuff yourself and dive into your own spirituality. I just heard you also need to meditate, and I think that kind of goes hand in hand with self care. You need to quiet down your mind. And I know it's a lot harder than it sounds, because it's literally one of the biggest things that I need to work on too. But I think by like dissociating yourself from a group, it might be a specific group for some of you. Dissociating yourself from a group and kind of starting to go down your own path. And that doesn't mean you have to like leave these people behind. But I think you need to find a journey for yourself. Um both of these cards give me mega like Virgo energy too. Like this is actually associated with Virgo. But the Empress for me personally always like had like a very like motherly type of Virgo vibe. All right, now we have the Seven of Wands and the Hanged Man. Yeah, so this journey isn't going to be the most comfortable journey for you, I'm going to be totally honest, but it's going to be a necessary one, and it's going to be one where um you are going to learn a lot and learn this new perspective. I think it's funny because I said to like dive into the physical, but I think that's for a select few. Again, moderation, balance is key. But a lot of you, this is a very specific spiritual journey. Um, I feel like the Morrigan is asking you to find your own sovereignty here. She is a goddess of sovereignty. She's a goddess of power, of self empowerment. She's she's asking you also to defend your own power because well, I just heard you're not doing that. You're not defending your path or the choices that you choose. You either choosing to go with the crowd or you're not defending the choices that you're making. Like you might make a choice and then someone's like, should you really do that? And you're like, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. Like, no, like stick to your guns, you know? Like, um, don't be afraid to push back a little bit. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself. But yeah, with this Hanged Man reverse though, there's a lot of um you might feel a little uncomfortable standing up to people. It might be outside of your comfort zone or going at this alone. You're not going to be comfy. But one thing that I've learned with the Morrigan, she is not a comfy goddess. She pushes you out of your comfort zone and pushes you until you are way more powerful than you were before. And she helps give you your own strength, but like she doesn't give strength. She helps you find it within yourself. And one thing too that I have noticed is she always works with people who are are warriors in their own right. They already proven themselves to her, so she comes to them. She's like, "Hey, essentially, like I want you in my army. Like hang out with me." Vibe, you know? And it's funny, the strength card popped out too. This is definitely even though this is a very personal journey, it's a very important journey. We have a lot of major arcanas here. We have like except for these two, they're all major arcanas. This is a big moment in your life. Like I said, I got chills the second I started recording this reading. Um you're by getting this new perspective and starting this new journey on your own, you're going to have this new mindset. You're going to see things clearly than you ever saw them before. With this Ace of Swords here, um it's the Ace of Swords is about mental clarity and embracing new ideas. But I also kind of see this as I associate the swords cards with the Morrigan. Um, I see this as even possibly, honestly, a new journey with the Morrigan. She may be asking you to take her hand and walk with her on this journey. Like it's in the traditional hermit, he has a lantern that he's carrying, but in this card it's a crow or it's a raven. I think if you've been wondering if the Morrigan is reaching out to you, this is your answer. Yes, she is. And then with the strength card here, I think this is kind of like talking about what I said before about like um she kind of helps you find your own strength, you know. Um and again, we have this balance card. But here it's between the masculine and the feminine, the masculine of the lion versus the feminine of the woman. She, even though it looked a little forceful in this card, traditionally, the woman is always subduing the lion with a subtlety, with softness. Everything that is feminine is not always soft, not in the cushy way, but there's a gentleness to it, a gentleness to the power. Kind of like that saying that someone with real power isn't going to walk around and boast about it. And I don't think you need to. This is a personal journey. For some of you, this might be a little bit of a call out, but stop trying to show yourself off to other people. I'm this is like from the Morrigan specifically. She won't have it. I'm gonna be a little bit like blunt with that one. You don't need to show off your power, because all you need to know is that, like, for yourself, you don't need to. This also might have to do with social media too. You don't need to sit here and boast about your spiritual practice to everybody, you know. And with that, we're gonna move on into the oracle deck. This is the Mist of Avalon oracle deck. It has a very, like, I mean, it's associated with, like, even like Welsh myths and stuff like that. But let's see if we can get a card that just pops out. Like I said, the Morrigan is not for the faint of heart. She got a little stern. Egrain, feminine power, motherhood, beauty, acceptance. This is literally mirroring the strength card. And as well as has, like, ties to the Empress card. Oh my god, I love it when stuff like that happens. I think it's just reiterating the fact of some of the things I said about feminine power, and also for some of you, and this might be a call out, and I personally apologize, but I don't at the same time, because this is the messages coming from Spirit and from the Morrigan. Feminine power is important. Feminine power is especially so important with the whole, like, I'm gonna just be blunt about it, with, like, patriarchy stuff. But just be aware when you're leaning too much into it. Again, balance is key. Balance is so important here. You can really lean into the feminine. Like, if you feel like you have more masculine, and I'm talking about energies, by the way. I'm not talking about gender. So I just want to be clear about that too. Lean into a balance of the two. So if you feel like you're more masculine, lean into the feminine. If you are really leaning into the feminine, lean into the masculine. But also be aware of that, like, yes, there's toxic masculinity, but there's also toxic femininity too. So just, I don't think this is her saying, like, hey, you're toxic. Like, that's not what I'm saying at all. But I think she's just asking you to just be a little bit more self-aware. We literally, oh my god. So we have Excalibur, which also mirrors the Ace of Swords. This is nuts. Okay. Action, sovereignty, truth, power. Again, everything that I've been saying about the sovereignty, the power. Excalibur is a sword for kings. The Morrigan works with kings. Like, traditionally, she, I know in some stories, I think she gave sovereignty to the king. Like, she gave the king the power, you know? And if it wasn't her, it was someone that's associated with her, like one of the goddesses that is a part of the Morrigan. I know also Brigid also is said to have helped with that as well. And in some circles, I think this is sometimes a little bit more obscure circles. Some circles are say that Brigid is also a part of the Morrigan. Um, I personally feel like they're two separate goddesses. But also with with the Celtic myth and just everything, there's so much that is kind of lost to time because of a lot of things weren't written down. The Mists of Avalon card: illusion, boundary, enchantment, transformation. This kind of reminds me of the Hermit card of like going through the mist with a lantern. But also the Six of Swords a little bit too. Um, in the moon, I'm gonna be honest. um, but this whole journey is meant to be to have growing pains. It's meant to be uncomfortable, to give you power, but first you need to, I don't want to say prove that you have the power because you've already proven yourself. But I feel like you need to prove it to yourself, if that makes sense. Like grabbing the power for yourself versus like thinking that you're not worthy because you are. All right, the next card is the Tor. Truth, connection, source, clarity. I think this is an actual place in Ireland. Um and this I think is said like the king of the fairies would like ride through here, I think, if I remember the myth right. Um but also it just has a lot of ties to the fae and the other world, the like spirits essentially. So again, we have this kind of tie to not just spirituality but specifically spirits, um and connection to them. So I would say too, like, um I think for some of you, you also have a very specific guide coming through. Um, it could be an animal, because of the strength card here, like a dog or a cat, like a pet that you had. Doesn't have to be dog or cat, but like maybe like a pet that's passed away. Um, but whoever the spirit guide is, I think they're saying that they're like, even though you're quote going on this journey by yourself, they're with you, regardless if you want to work with the Morrigan or not. I think this is a very personal spirit guide. Um, I for a lot of you, it's a pet who's passed away. I think they're here to just like guide you and but mostly like be with you on this journey because you kind of need to like go it alone and like be with yourself, you know. But at the same time, they're here just to like help you a little bit. I was only gonna pull one card, but we have two cards that fell out, so we'll do the two. We have the Hollythorn, the sacred optimism, courage, and perseverance. This is, I feel like, specifically asking you to keep going, even when you feel like you can't. Keep going until you get the answers that you seek, because and I don't think it's even like answers. Like there's so much to this journey that goes beyond, I don't know how to set these cards. That goes beyond just like, oh, going on a journey. Like, oh, also it looks like the same place. in the background here. It looks like you're just like a little further, you know? And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step into the unknown, you know? It can be really terrifying even if like you're alone, but don't be afraid. You have lots of guides with you, and I think if you asked her, the Morrigan would stand with you as well. And also this card has a labyrinth on it too. This is another indication to inner work, or um an inner journey, um or even shadow work, honestly, too. This whole journey that I'm talking about entirely could just be you diving deeper into shadow work, and figuring out a new perspective on the way that you live your life. All right, the next card we have is the Abbey. The tour popped up again. The heck? I I would recommend, like, look up. I don't have time to like look up the tour in this video, but this is how it's spelled. It's THE space TOR. I would look into the tour, and look a little deeper into it. It might give you a little bit more insight. Um, but the Abbey is interconnectedness, serenity, shared blessings, and purpose. And I feel like this card is kind of saying that, like, at the end of this journey, because this kind of reminds me of the Tower card too. So you might have a lot of before the end is done. There's also badgers. Sorry. Um, you might be a Hufflepuff. Just kidding. You might be. But Hufflepuffs are like party people, right? Like they're like little tough beans in their own way. um, but with this like Abby card kind of like connecting to the tower a little bit, it reminds me, or it like, to me it's like there will be, because I don't feel like it's a tower moment for you. But I feel like before this journey is done, there is going to be a moment where things look a little bleak. They're really not as bad, and it's like, yeah, some things have fallen away, but with the things that have fallen away, you're going to be able to sit with yourself and be happy with where you're at. Kind of like in this scene, like, yeah, the tower is like in ruins, but look how like serene the whole place looks under the moonlight, and there's just little badger guys walking around. There's also a light here, and this reminds me of like the Fae, or like someone beckoning you to go through the door. It's been a common theme in this reading too. But yeah. But yes, that is your reading. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and getting messages from the Morrigan. Again, everything that I said today, I wanted to channel the Morrigan specifically to see if she had any messages for anyone. So if you were wondering anything from her, um, know that any of the words that I said today in our reading were from her. Um, but yes, good luck with everything. Good luck on this journey. Um I'm really excited for you. Like I said in the beginning, you're a powerful spiritual being. And I think everybody is powerful and spiritual in their own way, but you have a very specific connection to spirits and spirit guides. Maybe even the Fae. That's a little bit of a stretch for me, is kind of what I'm feeling. But I would look into like divinatory practices, or like channeling or something like that. But yeah, and again, my name is Shadow Rose, so I'm so excited that you guys are here on this journey with me. I'm excited to post more videos. I love doing readings and I love doing pick a cards. Again, I am a Twitch streamer. My stream has been kind of off and on lately because of a new job. That's kind of why I'm doing a little bit more like YouTube videos and stuff like that. Um, but I do have a Discord. So I will link the Discord down in the description. Feel free to join. It's a fun little community, and I post whenever I go live. I give free readings on stream. The cards are limited depending on if you're like a subscriber or not or anything like that. But I do have private readings open. They're on my Etsy right now. Things might change with that pretty soon, but they for right now they are all on my Etsy for private readings. Um, and but if you want a deal on some private readings, definitely check out my Patreon. I have some tiers where you can get some like a guaranteed private reading per month. My Patreon just launched. It's a brand new little baby bean. It's only about a week old as of this video. Um, but and again, little side note too, this video is timeless. So you don't have to be here March 2022 and be like, "Oh, well, it's April. Can't do this reading anymore." But anyway, I will have all of the links to that in the description, and um definitely I'd be happy to see you there. And definitely let me know if you came to the Discord through YouTube because I want to see I'm just curious. I'm curious how people find me cuz I'm always I'm a nosy bitch, not gonna lie. But definitely please like the video if you liked the reading, and if you want to see more content both with deity work, and I also work with past lives and other picker cards, definitely subscribe, hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much. Bye. So I wanted to add one last little thing before I moved on, and I forgot to do it in the last pile. So this is still pile one with the Ada with white poplar. Um I just I so I have my pendulum that I use with the Morrigan. It's obsidian, pyrite, and amethyst, and it is kind of jimmy rigged. I'm not gonna lie. It's like wire twisted here, and it's just a necklace thing. Anyway, um, I wanted to have you guys ask the Morrigan any question. This is specifically for pile ones. Ask her any yes or no question, and we're gonna see what she says. So, I am gonna put the pendulum kind of in the camera view. Um, but yeah. So, with pendulum work, I always like to ask, or like to speak who to ask to speak to who I want to. I usually vet the deity, no matter if I've worked with them for a while or if I've been talking to them. So, I say, show me my yes, please. All right, that's our yes. Show me my no, please. There we go. Thank you. All right. May I speak to the Morrigan, please? The Phantom Queen, the Great Queen, the Nightmare Queen. Yes. Okay. All right. Can you answer pile one's yes or no question, please? What is the answer for pile one's question? All right, the answer is no. So, with whatever yes or no question that you asked the Morrigan just now, the answer is no. All right, thank you again, guys, for hanging out with me, and I'll see you next time. Hello, hello, my pile twos. This is your pile if you picked the strife or strafe rune um, that's associated with the blackthorn tree. So I will be using the Murder of Crows tarot deck today. This is my personal deck for the Morrigan. I will also be using the Mists of Avalon Oracle deck a little later here. But I am going to shuffle this live. Yeah, I'm really excited. Um, Thank you so much for stopping by the video. I really appreciate it. So, kind of going into the strife rune right away. I'm just gonna call it strife because it actually is associated with the word strife. Um, this card or this rune, I should say, can is associated with conflict. Sometimes it's even directly associated with like the pain that a warrior or like the destruction that a warrior inflicts during battle. So this is a card associated with battle, with death, but also establishing boundaries. Um, and it has like I'm pretty sure, yeah, it has like little thorns. I don't know if you guys can see that. My camera doesn't automatically focus. I have a crappy uh webcam camera that I'm using for this. So one day I'll have a fancy camera for my desk. Um anyway, strife is also associated with establishing boundaries with people and situations. So I would say like that's like a big message here. A big overall message is maybe start looking at the way that you set your boundaries. The blackthorn tree was also associated with, or not associated, but it was used as like hedges, like kind of like fences and stuff like that, in hedges. So kind of like keeping that boundary with people. But it's really interesting too because even like the blackthorn, even like its sap is red, like blood, and I think that's so cool. So it's associated with death, and of course the Morrigan is associated with death and war, um, and I guess strife in a way too. You know, so this is a very Morrigan associated rune as well, and I'm pretty sure this rune is also associated with wolves and she's as well. So lots of Morrigan associations, and I feel like excuse me, and a little cough. Um, I feel like when it comes to the Morrigan's different aspects, the different like in a way like personalities or goddesses, I feel like the vibe for you is right now you need her warrior spirit. I think for the last one it was a little bit more of like a motherly kind of type of the Morrigan of her aspect, but I think for this one for you guys, it's definitely a warrior. I mean, there's like literally like thorns on the blackthorn tree, you know. Um, all right. So let's see what cards you have from the Murder of Crows deck here. The cards are taking their sweet time today for you guys. um, if you guys are being indecisive about anything, I know this sounds like very obvious, but like just make a decision. um, I'm super indecisive too, but one thing that I heard actually in a different pick a card reading today, it was actually I listened to a lot of Kino Tarot's readings. I love her so much. But in the reading I listened to today, she literally said like she get like not gave me this idea, but like the idea of sometimes you can kind of like just kind of tell yourself you're an indecisive person, and it's almost like in a way kind of gaslighting yourself into being indecisive. So I don't know, like just keep that in mind. Like I don't know if it's like just think about it a little bit. All right, these cards are taking their sweet ass time. So can I swear on YouTube? I don't know. We're just their sweet time. I'm so used to Twitch. All right. A lot of cards, but oh well. We're pulling 6 cards total today, so. All right, we have the 3 of Wands reversed, 5 of Swords reversed, 8 of Swords reversed, Ace of Cups reversed, the World reversed. Don't be afraid that there's a lot of reversals. For me, reversals can be like just very internal as well, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting for you guys. Like a lot of internal work and a lot of like personal inner world things going on. So starting off with the 3 of Swords here, this card can talk about starting the beginnings of something that you've put into motion or planned. And it's, well, you've planned it and now you're starting to put it into motion. With it being reversed, I feel like you're scared to start it. You've been planning and planning and planning and planning, but now you're afraid to start it. Kind of like with what I said about that indecisiveness. It could be a specific. It could be a specific. I heard passion project. There's something that you want to do really, 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 really bad, but you're like scared to do it. I also, for some of you, this may be because whoever you were going to do it with bailed, or you feel like they're going to bail with this 5 of Swords. But I think you just need to talk with them. Just like, please, just communication is so important. Please talk with them. Like, they're your friend. Like, I don't know. Like, that's what I heard. Like, they're your friend. They'll want you to talk to them about this stuff. If they, like, if you feel like they're getting distant, like, or especially if they are having a lot of issues in their life, I don't think they realize how distant they're getting with you. And I don't want to say like this like worry is all in your head, but it you're getting caught up in your own head a little bit about the things that you're seeing. But with this 8 of Swords reversed, with it being reversed, it actually gives a really good message about the fact that you're actually getting out of this mentality. So all you need to do is just talk with them, please. Please talk with them. Or maybe like if it's not a specific person that you're going to be working with, talk to your friends about like how you can get like unstuck. Essentially, like this card, like she looks like very like she's like very stuck. Very much so. But with it being reversed, it talks about you getting unstuck from the situation. But with the 8 of Swords specifically, like this card talks about like anxiety, like analysis paralysis, essentially. Like you're sitting here wondering and probably planning and planning and planning, but you're not doing anything. All you have to do is literally just like do it. And it all kind of comes back to this idea of with this Ace of Cups reverse, it all comes back to the idea of how you view yourself. When this card is upright, it talks about new relationships, whether that be platonic, romantic, or familial. It's just like the overflowing of emotion, and you always get that giddy feeling whenever you have like a new romantic partner or a new friend. But like, when do you have that with yourself? Because I feel like that's something that you need to like remember, is being like giddy with yourself. Like when was the last time you like were so excited to be with yourself? When was the last time you this might be a heavy way to say it, but when was the last time you loved yourself? Go back to that. Cuz that's really important. It's so important. And I feel too, like, kind of turning it back to like the Morrigan and messages from the Morrigan. Like, she is a goddess all about self empowerment. And I feel like I did say with this rune, you kind of needed the war aspect, the war fury that is the Morrigan. But at the same time, I feel like you kind of need that war goddess to like kind of snap you out of it a little bit, you know? Um she's not here to coddle you and make you feel better about yourself. I'm going to be honest. She's here to shake you and probably maybe slap you across the face, maybe. Um and snap you out of it, like out of this slump that you're in. But at the same time, like, she's not a goddess who's gonna sit here and try to like keep shaking you and try to get you out of it, because if you don't listen, she's not gonna she's not gonna take the time. I mean, sometimes she does, but um like, she cares for you definitely, but it's like you need to stand up for yourself. I guess is my point. My point is, like, at the end of the day, you can bring a horse to water, but you can't force a horse to drink, you know? And the Morrigan is also associated with horses, so that's a very interesting analogy that I just used. Um, but and literally, I mean, we have this cup. Like, she can bring you to your cup, but she cannot force you to drink it. You need to do that on your own. And with this too, with the world reversed, like, a cycle is ending. Is it a cycle of like pushing yourself down? Have you been caught in this cycle for a hot minute? You know, that cycle is done. Like, she's here to tell you that you can stand on your own 2 feet. You can do what you want to do. You can follow your dreams. And you can just move forward, you know? And especially if, like I said before, like, if this is with somebody else, like, and not just yourself, I think it starts with yourself. It starts with this self empowerment. And from there, it's going to radiate into all of your connections, whether that's romantic, platonic, familial. You just need to trust her because you're not trusting the universe. And it doesn't even have to specifically be the Morrigan, but I feel like a lot of you who picked this pile, actually, you guys are already working with the Morrigan. That's not for everybody, by the way. But I think a lot of you who picked this pile are in this active relationship with the Morrigan. Because I think she's being a little bit more tough here. And who knows, maybe you don't work with her and you just need that. Um, but with this last card, which is the star, pretty sure it's the star. I'm having a brain fart, and I have this weird feeling that watch it be like temperance. But I'm pretty sure it's the star. It's 17. Yeah, well, in this deck, it's stars. Interesting. I kind of want to read this this book for the Murder of Crows is a really, it's very interesting because it almost like leads you through this like whole like little like mini story through the major arcanas. So this says, "You have followed the bird through the plains of dust and drear, onward forever, and just as your faith threatens to crumble, smoke clears and she is there. The Lady of Peace beckons you to her pool. She raises the golden chalices before her in ancient rituals of restoration. Lay down your burdens here. I have the strength to carry them. Give me your grief and bathe in my pool. What is broken can be mended. What is hurt can be washed clean and restored. I just got chills. You imagine yourself entering the waters and accepting incredible bliss. Now, that is for the upright version, but I still feel like that's the vibe. You know why? Because the Morrigan is associated with the washer at the ford. You don't know who the washer at the ford is. She is this like old like crone lady or or hag, and I don't use that in like a negative tone, just like an older lady usually. And the whole like vibe is if you see the washer at the ford washing your armor or your clothes before a battle, you're going to die. Now, you're not gonna die. I'm gonna tell you this. Tarot cannot predict death, even though I work with a death goddess. Like, cannot predict real death. But what we're talking about here is transformation, which strife is associated with. Transformation, death. The description of the death card in tarot is transformation. It's rebirth. And there's literally a meditation that I have done before and done for other people before, where you envision yourself at the river. You see the washer at the ford, and this one is specifically with the goddess that's a part of the Morrigan vibe. She's like a crone. She is terrifying. um, but during this meditation, you see her washing your clothes, and you know it's your time for quote death, this transformation. And you walk up to her and you ask her to help you with this transformation, to tear away everything that the old you was a part of. And in this specific meditation, she takes like literally her like fingers are like talons, and she starts to rip away at your flesh. And this is actually a meditation I think is written by Stephanie Woodfield, a very very wonderful author, with lots of Morrigan books. If you are so inclined, you can definitely go check her out. I might even try to link the book that this um, meditation is um, in the description if I remember, and if I don't, please remind me. Um, but essentially, she just helps in a way like baptize you. Like, I know that's like a really weird way to put it, but it's in these waters, just like the star card here. Like literally, the vibe is here. The washer at the ford. This transformation, this rebirth, this new you. This cycle is ending. This cycle of self hate and and just this darker time for you. You're moving into these new things, and I'm so excited for you. So excited. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and pull some oracle cards for you. Again, this is the Mists of Avalon oracle deck. We're gonna see what other messages the Morrigan has for you. May I please get some cards for pile 2? Sacred union, sexuality, vitality, growth, fertility. Um, this whole association might be with someone like a lover, but I also feel like there's more to this card than just like lovers kind of vibe. You know? Um because I feel like this is more about coming in union with yourself than it is about another person. I feel like a lot of this, except for that little bit that I said in the very, very, very beginning, most of this is with yourself. I said also with all of these cards being reversed, like it was a very internal journey. And then you have the King of the Fairy Realm. Journey, personal power, death and rebirth, renewal. I can't fucking make this up. Oh, excuse me. I don't even know. Can I swear on YouTube? I really don't know. I can't make this up. I This is like, I don't know. Like, I feel like there's not really much. Also, we have the wolves. This rune is associated with wolves, and the Morrigan is too. I feel like there is like this like union of self for you. This journey that you need to go on. The In the background, I think, is the Tor, which is like the doorway to the fairy realm, essentially. I think feel like there's something in this card, that's why I'm pausing, that I'm not grasping. We're gonna move on. So, I always butcher this name. Is it Arian Arianhod? Arianhod? Excuse me. Um, Karma, life direction, autonomy, and fate. I think this is something that, well, everyone can like change their fate. They are control of their own fate, you know. But at the same time, I also feel like some of us also had specific points in our life that we're choosing to do this before we are birthed into this world, like with past lives and stuff. I was kind of getting a past life kind of feel with this one too. I would maybe look into your past lives. um i, I I'm just gonna shamelessly plug here, I also do past life readings. I am um That's one of the things I do in my practice as well. And my private readings are open if you'd like. So just down below in the description, go ahead and click that Etsy link, and you can definitely get a past life reading from me if you would like. But I feel like there's a lot of like, also like higher self kind of vibes here, of like with the sacred union, like connecting with your higher self, connecting with like the best version of you, essentially. um and Aryan Hod kind of also, now correct me if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong about Aryan Hod specifically, I still stand by the message I'm about to say. Um because it reminds me of this, like there's like, I think Aryan Hod was like also like a fortress as well, or a place that was like impenetrable. Again, I there was more, and then I lost it. So the next card you have is the Priestess of Avalon, divine inspiration, healing, um, ancient knowledge, initiation. Now this, I stand by what I said about the past lives again. Looking deeper into it. I would also say going deeper into your spirituality, especially if you're a witch. Um, that'll definitely help you on your journey of this healing, this also reminds me of just like your stereotypical like Morrigan kind of vibe too. With the three people here, and the moon and the ravens in the background. She, again, like I said, I really feel like you are already working with the Morrigan here. Um, and that's funny because we have the Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail, wisdom, life force. What does that say? Regeneration and spirit. Excuse me, I've been talking for a hot minute. Um, Again, we have this rebirth idea, this vibe of dying in order to live again, have this rebirth, have this regeneration of of yourself, your chalice, you know? I just feel like there's so much for you on the other side of this rebirth that the Morrigan is just beckoning you to have you take her hand, and I literally said that last reading, have you like take her hand. And she's here to help you. But the thing is though, I feel like you've taken her hand before and you either one, know it's not going to be easy and you're afraid, or two, you like either don't want to go through that again, or um you feel like other things are more important right now. But ultimately, what's more important than yourself? You know, because you should come first and foremost, before anybody else, and that's exactly what the Morrigan teaches. So, as a little extra thing, I also have my pendulum that I use for the Morrigan. So we have obsidian, pyrite, and amethyst here in this pendulum. It's kind of jimmy rigged, I'm not gonna lie. But you can use anything as a pendulum, right? So what we're gonna do is, if you have a question for the Morrigan, it has to be a yes or no question. Then I will answer that with the pendulum for pile two. When I use my pendulums, even if I've done it before, I always um make sure my yes and my no is the same, and ask and vet the deity that I want to talk to. All right. So I'm gonna ask, show me my yes, please. Thank you. Show me my no, please. Thank you. Right. I would like to speak to the Morrigan, the Great Queen, the Phantom Queen, the Nightmare Queen, my patron deity. Yes. All right. All right. So the answer to pile two's question, is that a yes or a no? What is the answer to pile two's question? All right, that's a yes, my friends. So, whatever question that you asked her, it is a yes. So, again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, I am also over on Twitch. I do free readings over there. The cards are limited for the readings though, because my queues get pretty long, and they are free. But if you have a subscription or anything like that, on Twitch, you do definitely get more like perks and stuff over there. I also have a an Etsy for private readings. If you would like to get a private reading from me, my private readings are open. Definitely head on over there, and I do past life readings. I do deity channels. I do more than just work with them. With the Morrigan, I do a lot of different types of deity channels as well. Um, and also, if you want even more content as well, I just opened my Patreon. Um, you get a guaranteed monthly reading with Patreon with some of the higher tiers, and some other really cool stuff and extra readings. So definitely go check out my stuff over there. And again, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, definitely, if you like this content and want to see more. Um, and good luck with everything, my friends. I feel like you're on this journey of self acceptance, and all you have to do is just grab it. You know, I'm really excited for you guys. So, yes. All right, my friends. Um, have a good day, and I will catch you guys later. Bye. Hello, hello, my pile threes. This is your pick a card if you chose the I think it's Iho, Yo, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced. I apologize. If you chose the U, rune or rune, I should say. So Eo is another. All three of these runes so far have been associated with death in some way, and I think that is fairly common throughout the Ogham as well, due to just like a common like rebirth kind of vibe. But the yew tree specifically, it is a very, very, very long lasting tree. It lives for a very, very, very long time. Um, and usually it grows in like church, or it's usually they're in churchyards, I should say, because of the um like the churches came after the yew trees. Um, but they're also associated with like um this. I thought this was super interesting when I was looking up a little bit more information on this. The yew tree also is associated with bringing lovers together in the afterlife, and I thought that was really, really cool. So we'll see if that pops up again in the reading. Um, I am using the Murder of Crows tarot deck. It is my personal deck for the Morrigan. And I will be live shuffling this for the reading today. So, kind of going a little bit more into the um Eho. I forgot to quick. Actually, this is something I didn't do for the other piles, but I'm gonna really quick check my book here for Eho. Yeah, death and rebirth, time of transitions and change. Um, yeah, they can live up to like even like 5,000 years old. They're like really old trees. Um, and it also has a connection to like I said, commonly planted in graveyards. So, um, the it's also like seen as gateways or entrances to the other worlds. So it's like the underworlds, the like spiritual world, that kind of thing. Um, and a symbol of reincarnation. Um, and honoring ancestors, summoning spirits, and transformation magic. So again, we have this connection to death. Which I'm not surprised because we are getting messages from the Morrigan, the death goddess herself. Um, but yeah, let's see what messages she has for you guys. With the tarot. All right. So what do you have to say to pile number 3? Also, side note, I don't know if it's just me or if it's like me channeling something, but I got really sleepy all of a sudden. So if you guys haven't slept, go to sleep. Otherwise too, the Morrigan is also associated with dreams, and one of her name meanings is specifically Nightmare Queen. Now that doesn't mean that it's always going to be nightmares, um, but she is associated with dreams, so she may be either trying to get in contact with you already in your dreams, or maybe try to like lucid dream if you know how to do that, or anything like that to try to talk to her. All right. So, first off, um this is the judgment reversed. Um Whenever I see the judgment card reversed, I literally just always think of you're going through a spiritual awakening, but you're not listening to your guides right now. Whether that's the Morrigan or somebody else. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god, it's the Morrigan for sure. He's trying to get your attention. A card just fell on the ground. Oh god. I can't reach it. Okay. A card just fell on the ground. And it was the most aggressive card that has popped out all day with this with this video. It is the death card. So, and it literally popped out right as I was like, I don't know, it could be the Morrigan or it could be somebody else. And then it popped out and it was the death card. And I'm like, well, it's the Morrigan. She is definitely trying to get your attention. If coming to this video already didn't like kind of tip you off, if you pick this pile and you just happen to stumble upon this video, there's a very good chance that the Morrigan is reaching out to you. All right. And you're not listening to her either purposefully or maybe today was your chance to be like, okay, what the heck is she trying to tell me? You know? But you might not even be noticing as well. She has definitely been trying to contact you through dreams. I think you also have worked with her in a past life too. With this yew tree and the Iho rune. I really feel like you've worked with her in a past life, so she's trying to get your attention again. We have the Five of Swords, the King of Swords. I also associate the Morrigan with the sword suit. Ooh, the Hierophant. And the Five of Cups. Okay, so I was going to say this earlier, but I wasn't like, I guess I kind of wanted like a confirmation or whatever, but I feel like I kind of feel this with the Five of Swords here. If there's like a connection or a, even like an organization or an, even I would go as far as even like an organized religion that you're starting to not really vibe with, it is totally valid to go your own way, and or even just to explore a little bit, and if you end up going back, you end up going back, you know. And I feel like you kind of need to find your own truth, and if you haven't already, like if you know what that truth is, you need to start living it because it's important. um Even just looking at the death card objectively and not associated with the Morrigan specifically, this is a death and rebirth and a transformation card. Having one part of your life die in order so the next one can be reborn, which is exactly what I was talking about with the yew tree as well. Like this has a very I also just realized I don't have any of my rings on anymore. I took a little bit of a break in between cards and I just like don't have my rings on. Um I don't know if they're, I don't know. I just noticed. Anyway. But yeah, so I really feel like you do have a past life connection with the Morrigan or some other people in your life right now, but I feel like the people in your life that you're hanging around with right now are not good for you. With this Five of Swords, I definitely feel this idea of going your own way. And it might mean a little bit of hurt and a little bit of heartbreak, and a little bit you might feel like people are abandoning you as you're trying to find out your new truth. And that's a lonely road to walk. I'm not gonna lie. It's a road that I've walked myself. But you know what? As I've walked that road, I have met people that I resonate with more than anyone else. I have met people that are my tribe, that are the people I vibe with. And I've made longer lasting connections by going my own way and walking my truth and living my truth than I ever did before. And Like I would say like before I started like really like going my own way, I maybe had like one or two really close friends that I considered like they were my besties, you know, like they were my close friends. And I mean, it's not all about like quantity over quality, but now I have a group of people that are my tribe. Like they are the people that I really 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 vibe with. And I feel safe with them and I feel like I can tell them anything. And so that's I think that's part of the message here. Is like don't worry about going your own way because you're going to find people along the way that are is going to be way just way better for you than you ever dreamed. With this King of Swords though, I feel like with this King of Swords you know your truth already. It's not a vibe of finding who you are. It's you know who you are. All you have to do is take up that crown and put it on your head. You know, like literally the Morrigan is a goddess about sovereignty. You have no idea how common this one message was in all three piles. Know your power, know your worth. For you specifically, it's know your worth. But finding your power and stuff has been a common theme, but also that's a very common theme with the Morrigan in general. Um, and it's a lesson that I'm still learning as well. But um, the king knows his truth and lives his truth. The King of Swords specifically. Um, Kind of going into the Hierophant here. Sometimes this can talk about organized religions, and I think to some degree it kind of does. But I think for another kind of vibe, it's adding structure to your spiritual life as well. And it's really interesting here too because this his staff kind of looks like an Ogham. Um, I'm gonna grab my book again. I wasn't grabbing my book for any of the other readings, but for you, I feel like I have. That's three. Okay, so the Ogham associated with like this kind of like looking symbol here is like this. So heather. It can mean healing, creating a sacred balance, love, fertility, which this talked about reuniting lovers, remember? Um so also associated with fire, as the heather plant is used as fuel, making it a solar plant. Which brings balance into this like very like dark vibe that we have going just in the reading in general. Um, it's said to bring good luck, especially in love life, and was put in bridal headdresses. Honestly, like as a side note, you also might be getting married soon. I know that's like kind of like a that's not for everybody, but just with the like priest person being here, and that might be why you're scared to leave like the religion you're in right now, is because either like your partner isn't like really big onto like or wants to stay in the religion, or maybe you are getting married and you want to get married in the church or whatever religious way that you have. And I feel like the Morrigan is saying like is giving you the go-to on that if you are wanting to get married under like the religious like sanction. um I think she's saying to go ahead and do that, but know that you can also live your truth. And I don't think anything in this is saying that necessarily you need to leave your organized religion. I think what this is saying is you need to live your truth, and the people who leave you, they weren't meant for you anyway. So just keep that in mind. You might like really I don't think you're going to be leaving your organized religion if you're a part of that unless you want to. Um but if you don't want to leave, you can there's definitely a vibe that you can stay. But I think for a lot of you, it is a vibe of like going your own way and maybe breaking away from that, even temporarily, just to find your way, and then like going back if you so choose. Um, Or it can also talk about deep emotional connection just in general. Um, yeah, it's associated with healing and love spells, fertility. And I'm not saying, oh, do a love spell. Please, like, there's a lot to that. I'm not saying do a love spell. I would say too, like, if you're worried about like being fertile and stuff like that, like I would maybe ask the Morrigan for some help in that regard. The only reason I'm hesitating now is because my candle just went out. So I'm not saying that you're not fertile, but I'm saying you might need a little bit of spiritual help with that. Especially if you're having a hard time with that. But with this Five of Cups being your last card, out of the tarot, um, there's definitely a lot of bright sides that you're not seeing right now, or in the coming future, you will have a lot of, um, quote, negative things to focus on, but in reality, you have a lot of positives as well. So just like try to look at the bright side of things, and just be aware that there's more to the story than what you're seeing. Um, is kind of like what I'm hearing. Um, but yeah, so the next deck we're going to be using is the Mists of Avalon Oracle deck. Um, it has like a King Arthur kind of vibe to it. So I feel like this reading was kind of all over the place, but the main message is clear. Like you going your own way and finding your own truth. You know. So we have Ludwig, manifestation, renewal, authenticity, and freedom. Authenticity and freedom. I think that's really cool. um, if we were just talking about going your own way, having this freedom, living your truth, having this authenticity with yourself, not only within yourself, but also showing it to other people. That's so important. And with that, you have this rebirth, this renewal, you know? And don't be afraid to manifest for your, like, what you want in your dreams. Like, the universe will give it to you. All you have to do is ask, you know? Um, see if there's any. Can I get some more cards for Oracle messages from the Morrigan for pile 3, please? Hollythorn, optimism, the sacred, courage, and perseverance. Didn't I just say to like look on the bright side and have this like optimism here? This kind of looks like even though I know it's not a yew tree because it says a hollythorn, it kind of has the same like branching, kind of like the yew tree does. Um, but also the number 7 is a number associated with things out of our control. So this is I feel like it's not saying like, oh, your life is like out of control or you don't have control over your life, but I feel like what it's saying is um there are things in motion right now that I think you're just kind of gonna get swept up in. So like knowing yourself and knowing your truth and knowing your just like vibe is really gonna be a good thing to have during all of this kind of craziness that's about to happen in your life. This also is a this card popped up in a past reading, um, but the one of the other piles, but this symbol here is the labyrinth. This talks about internal work. It talks about maybe a little bit of shadow work, but this internal journey of like finding oneself, you know. Um it's really cool. I love how all these things just kind of like come together. And then we have the dragon, pathfinder, strength, integration, power. So again, finding your own power, going your own way, being this pathfinder. Um, there also is a little bit of a lovers kind of vibe between these two dragons too. Again, like I think things are going really, really well for you in the romance department. I think I just heard if you think that your partner is a soulmate, they are. Um, and I use that term. I don't say soulmate loosely because I find it like very. I do past life work in my personal practice as well. You can have more than one soulmate. Your soulmate isn't always romantic. It isn't always like a lover. Soulmate is just two souls coming together and like vibing, you know. And so but I feel like if this is a lover and you feel like there's this deep connection, you guys definitely are soulmates and you guys definitely have this like almost like this yin yang kind of dynamic. Galahad, courage, triumph, surrender, and purity. Pretty sure Galahad like sacrificed himself, didn't he? He's one of the knights for Arthur. I don't remember his story exactly. I don't know why, but I keep having like looking at the books for you guys. If you guys are read more. I don't know. Oh my god, excuse me. Been talking too much. Um, read more. If there's a book you've been wanting to read, definitely read it. And also, just in general, if you do tarot or anything, never be afraid of looking in the book. I've been doing this for 7 years and I still look in books. Like, it's a lot of things to remember, especially with like oracle cards and stuff like that. This book is so this card is literally the messages you have sat comfortably on the sidelines long enough. Stand up, rise to the occasion, and breathe life into your soul's journey. It is time for you to do, be, have, and experience all that your soul has been waiting for you to discover. If you haven't met this person yet, you're going to very soon. This other soul person. Your new course of action may feel uncomfortable at first, but persevere and keep stepping forward. Signs and signals will appear along the way to guide you to the next destination. It is time to make a decision. Stop procrastinating. Prepare yourself and begin your quest today. Go your own way. You know, go your own way. It is so important to live your truth and know your truth and if you're like, "Oh, but Shadow, I don't know what my truth is." Well, you know what? I can't tell you that. I'm going to be honest. No one else can tell you that except for you. So, and if it means a little soul searching, it means a little searching. If it means literally picking up that book that you've been wanting to read for years and just never have, do it. I for some of you, it's a book you're writing. For some of you, you're writing a book and you need to finish. Well, you don't need to finish it, but you need to work on it. Not for everybody though. But that was just a little message that came through. All right. Can I get one last card for pile 3, please? One messages from the Morrigan. The Lady of Shalott. Illusion, love, victim, idealism. You have this very like knight and damsel in distress kind of vibe. I'm not saying you're a damsel, and I'm not also saying that you have to go save a damsel, but that always reminds me of the like in astrology the Aries and Libra dynamic. Um, honestly, I'm feeling Libra vibes with these two cards and these two kind of Aries vibes. So I mean, your person could be an Aries, you could be a Libra, or there could be some of those signs in your big three or your astrological charts. But I think with this card, though, what this card is talking about, there also is this kind of like Six of Swords slash hermit kind of vibe here. I think there's a part of you that is like sleeping right now, that's dormant, and you need to awaken her. And I think it might even literally be your feminine side, like in the way of energy. Um, tap into your feminine side and kind of start to get to know her a little bit. Um, But also, this is not for everybody, but stop playing the victim. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and this might be a little, like, in your face, but, like, it's not cute. Like, just stand up and, like, just have, like, literally, like, the strength to, like, own up to your mistakes, you know? Like, if you made a mistake, own it. Own up to it, please. Like, um, also, you have a message coming your way, but it's gonna be a little slow. I don't think it got delayed, but if you're waiting on something or hearing from someone, it might be a little slower to get there. I think they're taking their darn time. But yeah, so that's your reading pile 3. I'm very tired now. I mean, it's probably just because I did 3 readings in a row, and I'm not used to doing this much anymore. But I hope you guys have. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Oh, big yawn. I hope you guys have a good day and or night wherever you are. Again, my name is Shadow Rose, and thank you so much for stopping by the channel. I appreciate you so much. Um, if you are interested, I am a Twitch streamer and I do go live on Twitch. I have free readings over there when I go live. Um, lately it's been kind of touch and go with the streams because of my work schedule, but I definitely post on my Discord whenever I'm going live. So if you want to go down, join the Discord. It's a fun little community, and I let everybody know in the Discord before I go live. Otherwise, too, if you'd like a private reading, my private readings are open. I have an Etsy. You can click the link down below in the description as well. Otherwise, I do have a Patreon I just launched too. So definitely go check that out. And there's lots of really cool tiers, and there's some like um if you want guaranteed monthly readings, private readings from me, go over and join the Patreon. I have all those tiers set up for that. Um, so yeah, thank you so much again, my friends, and be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I will be doing a lot of mostly pick a cards, but some deity channels similar to this, and I do past life reading or past life work and everything too. So, and I might do like I don't know, maybe I'll do like deck reviews and stuff too. I don't know. I still have lots of fun plans. But thank you again for stopping by, and I hope you guys have a good day or night or wherever you are. Goodbye. Hello again, my friends. So I forgot to do the pendulum thing that I was doing for the other piles. I had already put away my my candle and my cards. But I have my pendulum here for anyone or the pendulum I used to talk to the Morrigan. It has obsidian, pyrite, and amethyst on it. But I just wanted to do a thing where you guys can ask a yes or no question. You can ask the Morrigan a yes or no question, I should say. And we'll have her answer with the pendulum. So, every time I use my pendulum, I see my yes and no just to like make it consistent, and also like kind of vet the deity with some titles and stuff like that. So, all right. So show me my yes, please. And show me my no, please. May I talk to the Morrigan, the Great Queen, the Phantom Queen, the Nightmare Queen? Yes. Thank you. Alright. So, what is the answer to pile three's question? Their yes and no, yes or no question. What is the answer to their question. All right. All right, so that's a no. So if you guys asked a question, the answer is no. Well, you guys have a good rest of your evening or day, whatever you're doing today, and I will catch y'all later. Bye.